Oloram, Sukoi, Baljate Tur Nervore. Welcome to our podcast. I am sorry for the delay on getting an episode out. We've had some technical issues with background, but I want to thank Zel Namore, who recently finished his basic training at Great Lakes Recruit Training Center, who is actually joining us again for a short while, or helping me out
I'm
with
back,
that.
motherfucker.
We've also got Dirge, our other co-host, who is still with us.
How's it going?
And we've got Miss Rainiana, one of our new members, who is going to be helping us with language from here on out. And let's go ahead and get started. Our topic for today is armor related, something we figured we would start doing, and I want to thank one of our members, who shall remain nameless for now, for for suggesting this. We're going to start doing a Tenet a month, where we talk the entire month about a single tenant. We've got 12 months, 12 tenants. Just makes sense to do that. Thank you for your suggestion on that.
You're welcome.
So, this month's tenant is number 2, armor and all associated with that. So let's go ahead and read the tenant real quick. So, tenant number 2. A Mandalorian must remain armored at all times unless alone. A Mandalorian must wear at least one piece of armor at all times. The item must be made of a material that can function as armor, i.e. steel, leather, Kevlar, anything that has historically and can continually serve as an item to defend yourself and others. Such an item can be as simple as a leather cuff, a bracelet, or vambrace. The decision is left to the individual as to the extent of the armor. This affirms that a Mandalorian is at all times defensive, but ready to defend innocent life and property. Like weapons, a Mandalorian's armor has a spirit that walks with them and helps to protect their lives. And like our weapons, it must be treated with reverence, as a holy article of their faith in the way. A Mandalorian is not ashamed of the way. Therefore, it is a best symbol of the way to be displayed in some way on the armor, meaning the sigil needs to be displayed on an armor piece somewhere. Must be visible to others whenever possible. And on the connotation of being alone has the same meaning for armor as it does for weapons, where being alone, as long as you're with family or friends, you can unarmor and unholster, unweapon. So let's get into that. What constitutes armor? Like I said, anything that is steel, leather, Kevlar, etc. Me personally, I wear a leather vambrace. The current one that I'm wearing is thanks to Byron, otherwise known as Iron Bear. I actually have a brand new one coming in thanks to Mark Masters. I don't know what his Discord name is, but you can reach out to him on Facebook. And the work that he has done, just looking off the pictures, is Shabla amazing. Let me see if I can find the picture for those of us who are in the Discord with us tonight, so y'all can see just what I've had made for me. While I'm doing that, Dirge, what is your armor piece that you will continually wear when you're out?
Actually, I'm kind of in between pieces at the moment. Previously, I had an armor-plated trench coat that had some internal plates for like melee and cutting protection. But at the moment, not
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Zell.
That's something I'm currently working on to. I'm attaining to reach.
Zell, you're in the interesting position where you are actively enlisted. How do you wear armor or something to fulfill the tenets while you're...
Sorry about that. We have a storm going.
Ah, gotcha. Zell, did you hear what I said, or are you able to answer right now?
Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I did hear the question. In regards to my position being an active duty service member for my country, I filled out a piece of paper in regards to religious accommodation, basically requesting allowance to potentially wear like a vambrace or leg greaves, something that's nothing too bulky or inconveniencing that would go egregiously against the uh, uniform standards that we have. I am still waiting to hear back on that though. But once I do get information on that, potentially I could also look into some things that are more concealed, such as uh, like stab resistant vest underneath my shirts and everything. Because the way that it is basically so long as you've got the uniform of the day on, anything extra is meh. It's whatever. If that makes sense.
It does.
So I'm still working on it, as well as I'm trying to use my position as an ambassador of the way to sort of work towards allowing future keepers of the way to work in the military while still keeping to the tenets. As an RP, it is, so far from what I'm learning and everything, this job is actually right up the alley for any keepers of the way wanting to be in the military. It so far is the only job I have found that allows one to still keep true to the tenets for the most part.
Are you able to elaborate on precisely what you do?
As an basically, my job is as a religious program specialist. I am the assistant to the chaplain of the military. I am basically their bodyguard and secretary. Uh, think of chaplains as clerics. I am a paladin.
No, see.
So, Talon, what do you wear for your armor?
Well, for me, it's very much symbolic armor, but not literal. Mostly because I work in a factory and I have to abide by their safety rules. But for now, I wear a steel Carta Beskar on my belt or somewhere on my chest.
All right. What about when you're off work? When you are able to fulfill?
Off work, I wear for the moment, I wear a plate carrier with a level 2 plate in it, but I am working on going towards concealable soft armor.
Okay. West Mitten, if you want to jump in. What do you both at work or off work if you want?
So at work, I am lucky enough to where I can still wear a vambrace. I do get goofy looks, sideways glance every once in a while. But other than that, I'm able to wear my vambrace and not have any issue. I am working towards getting some bougie hyperline armor, but I'm a poor, as they say, as I'm working on my poverty pony as we speak.
But we're all riding that poverty train at some point.
So,
No.
but I wear a van brace every day. It's got the logo on it, and you know.
I actually posted pictures up in the podcast channel of the one that Mark Masters is made for me. Hopefully, it should be in the mail tomorrow. Y'all want to go take a look at that? Ooh, it looks so good. Let's see, who else we got? Miss Julia, what do you wear for your armor? Miss Julia? Oh, I guess we lost her for a
Sorry.
minute.
Actually,
No?
I'm on a waiting list. I'm on a waiting list for Grant Kincaid Services. He's supposed to make me a
Okay.
pair of van braces.
Cool.
Oh yeah. We discussed the design already. He's telling a great great design that he has in mind, and I'm all for it.
Cool.
His stuff is very much worth waiting for.
Oh, most definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so far, it looks like Mark's is going to be definitely worth the wait that I've...
I actually left a picture of my Carnibest scar in the chat.
Was that one of those that I
Maybe.
printed for you?
Nope, it's the one that Grant made.
I'll say the Moshiro that you have there would make for a good mold.
Yeah, it would, except for the fact that my nose is like this.
Oh no! See, that's why I say it makes for a good mold, is because you would use the exterior dimensions. You would go around it and then build off of going outward.
Yeah, no, it's kind of annoying. My nose is like this, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could see that.
So, Miss Rainiana, what I know you're one of our across the pond Vode. What do you do to keep to the Tenet?
Well, as many people know, we're not handicapped, but we are not as we don't have as many resources as used over the pond. In most cases, it's physical protection, especially given knife crime, let's say, is the biggest threat here. So, steel-toed boots. We sometimes can get away with soft armor, but if you are seen with the armor, you could be, queried and, taken into police station and asked. So it's about being discreet, but we mostly encourage, martial arts and defense just to back away. But in terms of clothing, it's normally, anti-slash, and especially steel-toed boots. We're not allowed to wear, to be blunt, you're not allowed to wear, rings that can damage the face or vice versa, or it's classed as intent. So we are a very, not a cautious society, but a very orderly society, and with that comes restrictions. So
Right.
Basically, like Canada, for the most part.
Well, I don't want to swear on the podcast, but if I was to backhand you on the face, that's like me trying to slash your face with a ring on my finger. So
Yeah. But yeah, we have similar stuff. You can't have like projections off a ring and so on and so forth that are such a size.
So, Rainiana, you actually mentioned steel-toed boots. That's actually been a very contested statement that steel-toed boots constitute armor. And the way that the board and the Allure have talked about this is that if it's something that a workplace requires you to wear, i.e. safety glasses, cut-resistant gloves, steel-toed boots, those items actually don't constitute armor.
They are probably not armour, but in the UK, most people will actually wear them, and it literally is for defence.
Right, and
you can readily buy them, and sometimes you can get the it's not the carbon fibre, but it's not steel, so there is a difference between
it's
the steel.
composite.
But
in the composite, yeah.
I think I've said before that, so if I wanted a plate carrier, I would have to go on eBay. to try and get an Osprey or to go to the surplus store. Military grade equipment or good grade is not easily found here unless you're doing airsoft, and we are restricted in what we can actually have. You can have a gun, but it comes with a license, and there's a criteria of when, or let's say in theory when you can use it. So if it's for hunting, it is only for hunting. You cannot use that in self-defense under any circumstance. So steel-toe boots, no, not defense, but in terms of generalistic armor that even I try to wear and other people, it is, anti-slash, steel-toe boots, and the boots aren't actually a defense, they're a weapon so that you can kick. And
Right.
it is just, and it really is the main difference in the UK that close contact is the problem in the UK. So if you have to kick, to get the person away or vice versa, I mean, you will literally use anything you've got. And when it's person being small, you should dread me because I could easily get them, but the Getsy. But no, it is not it's not defensive armor. It's not ballistic, and it is not really the best in protection. But
So the thing about hard toe, steel toe boots is similar to the argument in regards to tenet number 1 of what constitutes a weapon is why was it made, what was its intended purpose. The thing about steel toe boots is they were meant to be a protective item for the work field. They weren't meant to be the same as armor. That's sort of the thing is for one, they only protect the toes. They don't really do much else as far as protection. Of course, you have stability if you get like the high boots and whatnot for that. But as far as armor per the second tenet, I'm sorry to say that they just don't qualify because their intended purpose was just protective gear in the work field.
for you, yes,
Combat.
my flaw with the protection that we have in the UK is partly it's very much that if, for example, I wanted to buy a similar rig that other people can buy in America, to get that to clear customs, I would near enough be investigated in my country. Why are you asking for this to come into the country? Why are you doing this? Is it certified? And it more than likely will not clear. Meaning, they'll seize it and you'll still be asked questions. So the UK is very tightly controlled unless it is what's called certified. It's basically by the British government. So proper ballistic, if not military, from the ex-army must be British certified, and that is highly controlled and illegal, like the police. So it's actually very hard to get, proper grade equipment to protect. So it's not that so much there's a lack of it. There is a surplus, but you are restricted in what you can wear and if you can justify even wearing it. So my biggest problem with steel-toe boots is they are heavy, and you can have them as thick as you want, but it takes a lot of force if you have to try and. I mean, me personally being small, I can kick your shins. That's a defensive move. I'm not on the attack. I am not allowed a blade or any pointy weapon over 3 centimeters, or it's classed as a lethal weapon. So I might as well just slap you than hit you with than literally hit you with a brick. So the want is there. It's the legal aspect. If I was to walk around in soft armour, let's say for airsoft, you would assume that I'm going, let's say, paintballing, but I cannot wear that outside the house unless I'm in a restricted, allowed area. or the police will get called because people will panic. The UK has a big fear of guns. We don't have a lot of guns, but they literally fear people dressed, for defence. It looks odd. So if the police don't get you, it's the neighbours that will call you and, there's someone walking around with a gun and you could be carrying a fishing rod. We literally do not have guns. I think a statistic was 0.6% of all homicides in the UK in 2023 was by guns, but over 50% was by knives, by stabbings. So
yeah, I'm aware of those statistics.
So we have a very big anti-stab. Not a rhetoric. We don't even have an industry for it because even the proper clothing must be regulated or you're taking a chance. But it's a lot of money.
You would not then be able to acquire something along the lines of stab-resistant clothing then?
We can, yes. In the UK, there is a technical difference though between slash resistant and stab. To get stab resistant, you must buy a plate carrier, and that's why if you don't want to go the official government route, all are certified, but you're talking about maybe 3 times the price tag. If you want proper stab proof, you are literally nearly going for ballistic proof. You will try and find a pre-owned, blast plate or the equivalent for the protection. Kevlar, for example, is not 100% stab proof. It is slightly different. So it comes down to a kind of need versus want. Me being small, if I could, and I do have a plate carrier, I would wear it. In most cases, I play defence because if I'm saw with a plate carrier, I would be arrested because they would think you're up to trouble.
I mean, hypothetically, you could use a backpack.
Hypothetically, yes, and I've also had to literally fight in the street with someone that attacked me with a knife, so it's very hard.
So you find like a bag, say, that's got hypothetically, a laptop pocket, and you put a plate in that, and now you got a shield.
The thing is there are actually backpacks nowadays that have basically walk around as it looks like a normal backpack, but in a moment's notice, you just reach up to your shoulders, catch your thumbs in some loops, and lift up over your shoulder, and you now have a plate carrier.
Mm-hmm. But how do we do that? But how to get that in the UK?
And do that might make it illegal. It's like here you have to have your PAL to have body armor. And there it sounds like it's even more strict. But if you have a knapsack that just happens to have an extra pocket that you can put a big chunk of steel in, I mean, we
are very strict, and and I'm not meaning this rude because I think I've said before that I feel like a downer because I'm just like, banned. We're not allowed that. It's the UK likes laws, and in some cases it's better in some ways not to have it because then you don't run the risk of getting arrested. It's no different than me hitting someone with a handbag and then getting accused of assault for grievous bodily harm. So the UK is very into laws.
The person with it, but anyway, whatever. Just saying, like, you might be able to dance around it a little bit. That's the beautiful part about laws. They tend to have gaps.
Some loophole of some kind, or, like you said, skirt.
Much like Palmer's are kilts, I'm assuming the skirt. But I think I explained that, when my house got broken into, I only got let off because I argued that I was in my house. My shed got broken into, and an intruder came to the door, and I'm standing with a very pointy, blunt knife. And to be fair, I nearly got arrested because they said I was threatening the intruder. And knowing at least the laws, if he came into the house, then I had the right. If he was not in the house, I did not have the right. even if I struck him, I could have got basically done, not for murder, but attempted harm. And I'm not saying it's cultural aspects, it's how do you fulfill the way? Do I think I do it fully? No. Would I want to? Yes.
Question then.
I mean, it's similar. My side, right?
Because we're talking rather modern with like Kevlar and all that. How does the government feel in regards to leather armor or leather items then?
Or even go back further, Middle Ages. How would they feel about you wearing a metal plate?
Like a vambrace.
in the UK.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A vambrace would be looked at maybe as a fashion statement, but without me being my own bias, I would not want to buy something that looked like fashion. I prefer practicality, a function.
Mm-hmm.
So, and no offense, you can buy. I mean, nothing like this made in the Guild. But I saw things, and it literally is, it looks pretty, but it's very thick leather, and it's kind of, what's the point? It's basically decoration. There's no function, no protection, and I mean, yeah, it's like going to as we would say, Primark and buying a £3 little ring and putting out your finger. It looks pretty, but it's nothing.
All right.
Well,
So
If that
what?
makes sense.
The
If
thing
we could,
is,
if you're
with-
asking if we could get fan braces, so for example, if you had maybe steel plated or reinforced fan braces, they're fine until you use them, or you had to use them, or you're accused of using them, and then you're wearing a weapon. I mean, in theory, you're not even allowed to wear hockey protection gear, or sorry, it's not hockey. You will know it's cricket. You cannot wear cricket protection gear outside the pitch, or it looks like you're going to fight. So, and that's just foam padding, if that makes sense. So, basically, if you look the part that you're going for a fight, you'll be judged that you're going for a fight.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
So, as one Vode, and I did advise him, if we're going to do things, we do it smart. And I'm not saying what I said, but be smart, be safe. Learn, self-defense. I mean, that is not encouraged, by the way, because we are not meant to be defenseless. But if worst comes to worst,
What?
and if you're disarmed, then you have your fist, you have your body, you have your mind. That is my view, because we are, I think I've said, toothless. We have nothing here, really.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a stick, you can't have a brick. You can't even throw a shoe or an egg.
I was going to say, in regards to leather gear, I do understand that you say it would be seen as like a fashion statement, and you don't want that because fashion over function. There are ways to make leather armor both fashion and function, especially considering in the UK, unlike here in the US, your main threat, everyday threat, the predominant everyday threat is, as you said, knives. So you would be needing to think more along the lines of what would protect against slashing and stabbing items more so than ballistics. So you're not needing to necessarily think about, a plate carrier with a steel plate in it, and in regards to something along the lines of a vambrace, there are ways to make them look fashionable while still having the armor protection. Like an idea that I'm currently working on is having a vambrace with that sandwiched between the layers are strips of metal of some sort to give that added layer of protection and resistance to knives and even putting something like a metal rod in them and having it covered up with leather to make it look aesthetically, as it said, fashionable more so than functional, while secretly being functional as armor to protect against something like blunt force trauma to my arm. Should I have to protect myself and use my forearms to block something like a baseball bat or a club of some sort, so on and so forth.
I mean, another great thing that you can use to cover a lot of those bases, and it sounds really stupid, but this is prison tech that I'm talking about, right? So a book, a simple hardback or even a paperback book of certain size, of sufficient size and thickness can be used quite efficiently for both offensive and defensive options against most non-ballistic and even some ballistic options.
I mean, 100%, 100%, I agree with all the points. The problem, I'm not saying the problem, the thing in the UK is it's either stab or slash. It's not one, it's one or the other, not both.
I invite you to take a thick book, or like, a sizable book, like say something like a King James Bible, something that thickness. And I invite you to go and try and sink about anything sharp you want through it. You're not going to make it anywhere near the middle.
I'm resisting. I am resisting a very bad joke, and I'm not going to say it. But
I kind of want to know.
I just used it because it's a standardized shape and size. I'm not.
No offense. I do like to read, but
The same. You can carry a book without breaking rooms.
To be fair, I will have to check the UK law if throwing a book or using a book is a lethal weapon, but we shall see. But more on the clothes.
I mean, you panicked. You just moved your hand. You happen to have a book. That's for your lawyer to reframe things.
Right.
I think the aspect. I think the main thing I'm trying to get on was not even that I'm going on to is that in the UK we are. It's like close contact versus long contact. And when you're close contact and you have no other option, you either have, stand and fight or, defend and try and flee. There is no middle option as such. Because when someone is close to you, you don't have a way out, really. You don't have the distance to maneuver. And
that's where the self-defense training that is
would play into effect. When the UK Verde joined, I did say, find a good defence class. It teaches, legal basic defence, because in the UK, if you learn a martial art or what's classed as a kill move, and if you use it, you can get in trouble, basically. So I'm not saying the UK is all about trouble, but it's a bit technical. It depends what you do. So would I wear, if you offered me ballistic armor, I would wear it. I mean, I would wear it. You wouldn't be able to get me out of it. I would literally not get out of it. But when you're trying to live around the real life environment versus the politics, you basically find a way around it, and it is very practicality. So I personally don't want to be heavy, because if the worst happens, I need to move. I don't need to worry about someone pointing a gun at me. I need to worry about someone jumping out at me with a knife, as such, or to be able to move to distance. Steel-toe boots are awkward because they are heavy on the feet, and they weigh your feet down. If your feet can't move, you can't move. So that is a bit of a catch-22. But in most cases, in the UK, if you have a fight, it's basically going to be with fists or whatever you can pick up.
I mean, it's also to be noted that if you check out the sermons that we've got, that they very blatantly say too, like, you do this to the best of your ability. So, like here, I can do some things and I can have some armor. There, not so much, it sounds, but like they're you can always think your way around the problem. Is what I'm trying to say.
I
But
think
also
that
don't be worried if like your country doesn't or your area does not allow for certain defensive or offensive options. It's to the best of your ability.
I mean, I know what way am I
I mean,
getting
how
back?
is your so how like may I ask like a question? So how would you deal with like I realize you may not be like a legal expert or anything either, but so some religions require you to have a bladed object, right? Like an
Mhm.
athame in Wiccan and some other traditions, or like honestly, that's the only word I can think of right now.
The sheik.
We in the Scottish culture we have what's called a ski and do. That's the knife you'll see in the socks of men, like at weddings. We are not allowed
Yeah,
to
yeah,
carry them. They have to be dummies. No knives.
yeah,
The
yeah, and the
UK
dirt too, right?
the
The
ski and
dirt.
do
Yeah, yeah,
very similar. The UK said no because
yeah. Here, it's literally in the laws. You can't have a dirt here. So,
as far as I'm aware, you can carry a ski and do in Scotland if you're dressed in wedding attire. So you must have a reason.
so it's got to be like a cultural reason to have it on you.
Yes,
Hmm.
but majority you're sold dummies, meaning it's just a plastic. It doesn't fall apart. But
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's ceremonial to not functional.
basically,
Mhm.
to be fair, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind being asked the question because any other UK Verdi will literally, will be in the same situation. If you ask, how do you protect yourself? What do you wear? We're probably going to say the same things, and it's not a scramble. It's you have all the equipment. We're trying to claw it back. We're trying to get as much as we can of anything.
Mhm.
So what is one to another is not to another.
No, I get you. I get you.
But that's not judging. I mean, if people want to wear fashion, wear fashion. Um, I just have a pet hate of that because most of the time, no offense, fashion is cheap made and it's not practical. It's not slash proof, not anything proof. It's probably flammable, but
I mean, this is where like you need to know the materials of what you're making certain things out of, right?
most do not look that up, and I think that's part of the problem.
Mhm.
They don't know
What I
what
was
they're
saying,
wearing.
and there's one thing I was saying is obviously if you go out and buy things that are like leather and whatnot, it is going to be fashion and all that. However, we do have some rather decent leathersmiths amongst the guild that I feel confident enough to say could make suitable leather armor that would actually be armor, not just fashion.
Mm. But I don't mean this cheeky. How cheap would that be to get to the UK? And there is a big difference here of so I could buy something from China that looks the part, but it's very low quality. And if I buy it and if I buy proper, let's say, and obviously no offense, it's more than likely going to come from America. It's going to cost maybe $50, let's say, to $100 just tax. So it very much is a save up, watch something, bank on it, and then try and buy it. But even then, we run the risk with the anti-terrorism in the UK that you might get flagged up. Why are you buying this? What are you doing? The UK is very suspicious about things. So the more you
Yeah, I
can
get it.
the more you can conceal, the better. But if you do conceal, the worse it's going to get.
Hmm.
And it's also illegal to buy police clothing or like police grade because that's imitation of a police officer, and you're getting OSIC basically, very Oreo OSIC. So not a good idea. So it's a
Yeah,
very
there's a lot.
basically it's a very tight circle. But I think I've spoken enough about the horrors of the UK.
Yeah, it is sad that UK is one of the places that is very hard to be a keeper of the way when it comes to the first two tenets, most definitely. Because yeah, of course, with anything that we do as keepers of the way, as of right now, we definitely do have to adhere to our local laws and regulations that
Yeah, we don't have any religious protections yet.
mhm. And of course, that's also going to be country by country, state by state situational as well. Because just because our faith may be recognized here in America
Right.
doesn't mean that other countries will follow suit as well. So
Yep.
we definitely have a very long journey ahead of us as keepers of the way with the growth and expansion of our faith. But hopefully, in time, we get to the point where people recognize like the Beskar and be like, oh, they're a keeper of the way, and it's not so like it's not so weird to see someone wearing a plate carrier normally or a borshir or wait, no, that's not the proper word. Did I say that right, Kadale?
Say what? Sorry.
Helm. Borshir?
Boucher or
Boishi.
Boishi? That,
Boishi.
I've
Boishi.
been working on a little bit of a
Boishi.
language lesson while she was talking. I've actually got
Mhm.
quite a few words, all of it armor related.
That's very good.
Yeah, that's actually one of them. Helmet is spelled B-U-Y apostrophe or Benton C-E. And now it's got two different
Boishi.
pronunciations. You got Boucher or Boucher. So you can either pronounce it boo, like as in ghost boo, CHAY, or BOOSHAY.
Bushi.
Yeah,
Boucher.
Boucher or Boucher. Either way, it's gonna have the sh sound. So I'm not exactly sure between the two. Maybe Miss Radiana can describe why that one's got two pronunciations.
The author Karen Travis was English, and in her dialect, they actually mixed up ch and sh. So it's more like boucher,
Buchi.
but also boucher. So if you want to say boucher or boucher, it doesn't matter.
So it's more.
You'll maybe notice that in cradle it sounds very similar, or busha, which is bucket and pail. So if you prefer cha, go with cha, bush cha. Or if you prefer sha, go with busha. But example actually is in the word shig for tea. When originally we were given the word for, shig in, I think it was 2006, it was spelled chig, and it was said chig, as in chig, but then it became shig. So ch and sh can move, basically.
Okay.
That's why there's maybe two different pronunciations, and Karen retained that. So is it, boucher or boucher? They can sound the same if you have an accent where they sound similar. To me, they don't, so I'm very strong. But in theory, boucher and boucher are the same, in theory.
Yeah,
So in a way, it's more or less
up to the keeper.
the accent kind of would
When-
go off of how one would say it.
When Karen sings her song, she says, Butchigal, Enchigal. She's saying Butchigal, Butch, ch. That was in one of the audios from her. But it should be, Bushigal. So in theory, she went back later and changed chiz to shiz, more for sound, but you can hear her in some of her audio still making the chiz sound. So it's really preference. But that's how there can be much confusion over some words. Is it butche or busha?
The funds of a fledgling language.
Right.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, being as I'm from Minnesota and don't have much of an accent, I've always been pronouncing it like the boo is like level, and then the shay kind of drops, so it's like bouche. So I don't really elongate the shay. I just kind of like drop it, bouche. But Minnesota, what can you say?
So, out of curiosity, how is it spelt again?
Which word?
Boucher or Boucher.
BUY, Benton CE.
Benton CE.
Benton
So
CE.
according.
By Benton CE.
Okay, so here's the thing: the UY sound could be either buoy or ooey, like the ooey sound, like in buoy or chewy, according to the Tal Jair
The
that I have.
PDF.
Yeah, the PDF.
Yeah, that's where I'm
And
getting all of
then-
mine. And
I would personally recommend maybe going with Talgier because while there is audio of Karen, she is a bit unpredictable. She is British and she is speaking, let's say, like I would speak, and there are mistakes in pronunciation. And some of them more apparent, but you can definitely hear her accent. I mean, she is not dropping her English accent.
Mhm.
So there is, it's not pronunciation errors, but it's very strong. Karen, for example, she's conjugating her R's in most of her dialogues, but it cannot be heard. She doesn't have a very strong R. So it really is preference. That's just my
And
take on
then-
it because I looked at how Karen spoke.
And then what were the last two letters again?
CE.
From what I can see here, putting it would be boyke actually, because the C would make where was it?
I just sent you a message, Zell.
Yeah, the C would make a hard k sound.
BY beaten CE is that is an objective quoted to a noun. It means helmet. The E it is a noun. I'm not sure what that would mean in English because Karen wasn't very specific, but Karen put E's on adjectives to force them to, especially YC, to force them to noun form. So helmet, whatever she meant from that is unknown. I'm not meaning to speak over correct. I have no idea what she meant.
Yeah.
But when she says boucher, in theory it should. I mean, theory Batalgia and even Karen, it should be boucher, like the last pronunciation. But she always tried to say boucher, and to me that's an accent fail of her, of how she reacted. Let's say, if you look at her Gadeche, she doesn't say Gadeche. She says we get che. It's a very strong sound. So in a way, so you've got a slight fail of her accent. So she probably is the correct term.
Yeah, because there is a separate CH lettering in the Mandoa language. So the C and CH are separated in the Tal Jair.
Mhm.
Is why I'm bringing this up, because I just sent Kadale
Yeah, I was gonna see
message.
where you got that because I was looking at the words themselves, and that's it. What I sent you was exactly what I found in the PDF. So I was trying where you found the
Yeah,
boiki
I'm
or
going off of the
buiki.
actual, like, the Tal Jair Mendoa dialogue
Mhm.
PDF that I have, where it
And
actually has like the alphabet. So I will screenshot this
yeah, I
and
was gonna
send it
say
to you.
because I'm looking at the Mandor PDF.
Yeah, where it actually has like how each of the letters are supposed to be
Yeah,
pronounced.
that's the same PDF I'm looking at.
Mhm. Does that have helmet as on
Yeah,
here?
hold on.
I think Talgier defaulted to Shah,
There you go,
but
Zell. I started sharing my screen so you could look.
Talgier, I think, defaulted to Shah because that is the standard, and it was recognised a problem of Karen, the
Mm-hmm.
Cha versus the Shah. But no offence, it's Karen Travis, so there is no what's the word?
Okay. It's just
Consistency.
it seems weird that it uses CE instead of like CHEY or CHE.
Right.
Because as I said, there is a character that specifically is CH. So going off
No,
of
no. Sorry, so I've misexplained that. The problem is that in Karen Travis dialect, she's from Southern England, and
oh no.
for them the sh sound is that becomes a ch. So when she wrote it, so the first time she writes it, it's how she would speak it in her native, and then she realizes I made a mistake. It doesn't make sense. She changes it. So in very early dialogue, you hear her say the ch until she thinks about it and then corrects it. And so she made 4 bits of dialogue, and one is lost. But in the first, you hear the ch, and then in the third, you hear the sh. So she's trying to correct herself.
Oh
But
no,
it literally, so it's a fault of her accent, basically, if that makes sense.
and I understand that. I'm saying in the document that Kadale is sharing.
If it shows both ch and sh, unfortunately, it's because most people,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, even I would be scared to change pronunciation because a lot of Mandora, let's say, has been changed, or the best way to describe it is there's been a lot of fan-made Mandora that was through online for a long time, and was made to look legitimate, and people thought it was, and it wasn't. So there is much confusion. Mandora.org, for example, is Karen's PDF, or not PDF, but her Excel, and it retains all her mistakes. But you look at it and think, why would you have 2 pronunciations? But only when you hear the audio do you realise that she's not actually saying sh, she's basically saying a ch.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, she's hearing, she's writing, and then she's went back and thought, oh no, that's not right, so she's corrected that.
Yeah,
She's
and I have no problem with that. It's where I guess my issue is not necessarily her using those as the pronunciation. It's
Doing what you do.
that
yeah.
pronunciation doesn't match up with how it shows it's spelt is the
Mhm.
thing. Because how it's spelt, the pronunciation should be boy kit, not boy shit
To be fair,
or chit.
Karen Travis was not very good with spelling, and that is with like so that's EY and AY. For her accent, they sounded the same. I mean, I don't say cote, I say cote, so I've got a very low sound.
Mm-hmm.
This is her. So Karen would say cote as like day, and if I was to say vaille, Valle would make sense in my accent because you don't know what I'm saying. Like Valle, and I'm trying to say Valle, which is I think Valley. It doesn't make sense. It's too in my accent too flattened, so you don't hear me. But Karen was a law unto herself. Here is a little here's a little exercise for people. We have the word Getsy, right? And it is also like Bavadu. Bavadu ends in the E plural, right? Because it ends with a w sound. Now, when I say Getsy, which means nuts, most men don't like that. It means nuts. If I was to say Getsy, but change the E to a U, what do you get?
Getsu. Or
Change the
Getsa.
E. Change the E to a U.
Getsa.
Gutsy.
Gotse.
So Getsy is gutsy. So you can tell there. So Karen made, without being funny, Karen made a wordplay on gutsy, which means nuts, as in So gutsy means ballsy in the UK. I'm sorry you're podcasting this because it's probably going to be not safe for working at this point. By the way, Gabber, but okay. But basically,
our podcast is rated and for mature. We have the explicit content.
Yeah, we rated NC-17 at times too.
No offense, I would hope so, but my point is, so if you understand that Getsy and Gutsy are near enough the same words, but Karen has changed the sound and made a word. So now we have Getsy. Getsy breaks the plural rules of what it should be. It should end E, but it ends in CS, and it really is down to her preference. So she made the rules, and if we don't like it, we can tweak. You can in theory tweak it and bend it back. But most people look at Getsy and don't understand it. Literally change the change the E to a U and you'll understand it. And it literally is just a one vowel change from English into Mandalore. If that makes sense. So you've got to be Getsy. And it has the same ending, hence why it ends say and Getsy. So Karen was pretty lazy.
I can totally resemble that.
As can I.
I
think
feel
the
us being the Johad Sad, which I do believe translates to like language keepers or something like that.
Language state, language keepers, language preservers. Would be a literal. And I'm not Joe Hassad. My
Talon talking in the in our guild channel.
I'm pretty sure Django's on the list. That's why he's talking. It's an SOS.
No, the armor. Grant is talking in the guild channel. He sorry to interrupt, but he put a picture of a groomsman gift that he made, which is guitar picks, and it's got the guild sigil and the keeper sigil on each side, and he's selling them for $15. And
is that before or after you put the basically do not F with Mandalorians in the Mandalore chat?
Well, he says they're $15, which includes shipping via USPS. So I don't know what that's going to be to ship to you, Rainiana.
I could not. No offense, I could probably make something quite a bit stronger, but I was actually going to mention. I'm trying to find. I did send you it, so now I'm having to check my DMs because I have lost it on my computer, and I am ready to go nuts.
You're talking about all those 20 messages or so that you've sent me?
No, I'm talking about the Hal Kabur and the last three. So Hal Kabur means breastplate, but when we're talking about armor, these aren't actually canon words. These are legit. It's
I get
it's not
that, but
it's not canon.
I was trying to combine the words plate, gaid, and carry, ulinir, to make plate carrier. Like
And
we
I'm
can
trying to
go.
get.
I realize you can't buy one, but it is a legitimate word. So I was trying to find a translation or make a translation for it.
And I was trying to be sneaking to tell you that you can call your left side your Carl and your right side your best guard. Because that is like Mandalorians had a very awkward way of telling right and left, and that actually is in the armor, where your basically your Carl Hal Kabur is your left side, and your best guard Hal Kabur is your right side. So your card is your left side, and your best card is your right side.
So I'm also going to guess, because it's got the word call, the left side is where you would generally put your knife.
Yeah.
Your call.
Mm-hmm.
We're sneaky like that.
So
your
that's
knife
actually
side.
to do with so that's actually to do with your chest plates, but it's how you bring the things out in order. So a kind of not an odd little note, but just a kind of armor related note, which I'm not saying it's cute, but it makes sense.
Well, honestly,
And then best
people
god
we
Hal
bait-
Kabur would be saber side.
the people that we draw our inspiration from tend to be rather cheeky to begin with, so it makes sense that we would just say, this is my sword side, this is my knife side.
Mm-hmm.
This is my knife side, this is my sword side.
To be honest, I would say, like, because for me, I would if you want to use like the whole like sword and whatnot, call could be left, and Trishur would be right for the most part, being that most people tend to be right-handed, and you would have your Trishur to your right for easy draw. Whereas,
Unless you're like me, where you're left-handed and you still cross draw, so you still have your right hand.
So the reason you would use like called on being the left side is because it's on your left, and you would cross draw. Whereas typically nowadays, people aren't really going to cross draw their Trishurs.
No, mine's on the same side as where I carry, and that just happens to be the same side I draw. So I'm not going to
It depends on if I have it on my chest rig or if I have it on my belt. If I have it on my belt, then it's on my left side. On my chest rig, it's cross draw across the chest.
Question: are you right-handed or left-handed?
Left-handed.
Okay.
Same.
See, you guys, as I said, statistically speaking, most people are right-handed when shooting. That is why I was making that recommendation. Obviously, there are those who are left-handed shooters that analogy doesn't apply to directly.
I wonder what our statistics are on right and left-handed in the way, because I know we're all kind of weirdos, so it makes sense that a lot of us are left-handed.
I feel like there actually are words for left and right in Mandoa.
Hold on. Stand by.
I'm looking up
Left
as well.
is Pait. Pait. Spelled P-A-Y-T, pronounced P-A-I-T.
Pait.
Pait. And then right.
Stabby.
Oops. Damn it, I went too far.
Staabi.
Stabby, yeah.
Stabby.
I wonder if that's because most Mandalorians are right-handed and we stab with the right hand.
Stabby.
Stabby. There. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Stabby.
I would probably, because if we're going based off the
Tall Jair.
Tall Jair, it would actually be more along the lines of Stubby or Stubby. Right.
I think Stabby.
Yeah.
But it even said fast as Stabby.
Well, because A is more of a sound like pun or under, according to the Tall Jair.
Considering the below average height for most of the people within the way, Stubby makes sense too.
Stubby.
If we were to change the spelling to be Stahbi, it would then be Stubby.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't mean this cheeky. Tal Jir,
Yes, you do.
I'm not going to say his nationality. Tal Jir reformed his language. He is not identical to Karen's orthography. I mean, Karen was hellish in that her pronunciation was terrible. She made spell mistakes, vice versa. I would recommend, and if I'm being recorded, this is going to sound terrible, but make a sin bin. Like, make a bad spelling bin. Just make a bad spelling bin, put it there, and put things you don't like in it. And, you know, if something doesn't work for you, just change it. That is the best way I can describe it. Just because I've been reading a lot of Taljia, I mean, it was my first dialect, and I'm very used to it. I mean, now that I've got back into it, I can recognise it easily, but I can also recognise why I didn't really do well with it. And why some people maybe found it foreign. So, if not even so much pronunciation but orthography, in Mandoa H is silent. So if you would like that H, you can add it in. It's not pronounced as, you know, it's not like har. It's like, you know, stabby. So you can do little
Stubby would be current.
But like stabby, like, you know, stabby, I'm going to stab you, but not in the bad way. But that is some people might struggle in, you know, clear, which is different. It's a bit like buoy, or like, you know, buoy, and some people might struggle with that. But if in doubt, I find either, you know, ask a friend or just say it how you want to say it. As I frustrated Cabber when I said Jitty Sa, because that was the original one that came out, and my accent, I just give no shit. I just say Jitty Sa. But it should be Jitty Cat. It should be Jitty Cat.
At this point, though, if you're not mispronunciating Mandola, you're probably not speaking Mandola.
Probably.
Or you just haven't learned the right
Entirely
pronunciation.
wrong. Because I mean, how long were we saying, like, Treshore or
Treshire?
Yeah,
we're putting that into the spelling.
Talk about tracheurias.
Whereas Treshore and we were doing Treshire. That was way too fucking long.
Trasheen. Are you meaning Trasheen?
No, like the literal translation for rifle or gun, Treshore.
It was like it was specifically for like pistol or blaster, but we used it more as a broad term.
Trasheen. Like Trashiat, which meant artillery. Fire. Trasheen. Blaster was
blaster was Treshire. Yeah. We tend to use that as a more broader encompassing of
blaster.
all firearms.
Or literal silent gun. Which is
for me,
thrush.
I normally I normally default to Trasheen, and that's because it's from the Public Commander songs, and it's a very strong sheen. But you're not pronouncing it wrong. And anyway, it literally is just how the accent carries it, and maybe what you're focusing on. But you're perfectly understandable. I wouldn't say it's wrong.
Right, it's just something we use as the general encompassing term of all firearms, pretty much, for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's no gun. There's no word for gun.
Right, well, blaster in the Star Wars universe is gun. Like, toss me that blaster. Yeah. Hey, hand me that gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the Star Wars universe, it is interchangeable, so that's why we used it ourselves. Now, they do have specifically, like, slug throwers.
I was just about to bring that up.
Dodge this, you filthy casual.
They do have slug throwers specifically that are different from blasters in universe, but I digress. We are actually starting to get a little away from our topic of armor now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Just a wee
was
little
also
bit.
a topic.
So
yes, the word they're true. That is true.
So I'm just going to post this. That's actually the word for gun or guns. So Besbe thrashing.
Besbe
or
thrash.
Besbe trashai. It depends on how to say it. My accent, I don't pronounce the E very hard, but it's basically Besbe trashai or trashin.
Yeah, so that's weapons, which is Besbe thrashe.
Besbe trash.
See, the one I've got is Besbe thrashe. It's got an AY at the end of the pronunciation for the CE.
The EY is a plural. That is
multiple.
So yeah, okay, Besbe thrash.
It's not multiple. It's actually quite confusing, but that is to go into grammar. And I'm pretty sure, Kildali, you're hiding from me from grammar right now. So
I am not hiding from you. I promise. I'm not hiding from you.
Right, so the best way I can explain it is this: there is ways of turning basically adjectives in Mandalore into nouns, and that is what's happened here. So it is not so much a plural, but it is working as a plural. If you see the word magisha, which is basically search, if you take off the S, E, or basically just the E, it becomes back to the objective form. So to turn an adjective or an adverb back into a noun, you add an E, you plural it. But it's not a plural noun, it just becomes a noun. But in the case of, Besbe trash or Besbe trashin, it literally is, it's not a full adjective. So it has, trashy, which means like, it's not star, but like sparks. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's lightning shots is maybe the best way to describe it. It's trying to tell you what it's saying, but it's like, boomstick is maybe the best way. Just not a gun. It's
Where's my boomstick?
Well, it basically is a bit like, metal boomstick, and Mandoa is sometimes a bit awkward like that when you break words down.
No, there's no word for boom.
I'm pretty sure there's 5 words for boom, and one is literally blow them up, so...
I love us.
No, I mean like a literal English translation for boom. There's no translation for boom. I want the literal boomstick.
But to try and say guns not plural is literally, Besbe thrash-ish, basically. It's more like, trashish. But it comes down to thrash because it's merging with the E, if that makes sense. So the EY is merging with the ish.
Right.
So it's kind of like saying gone when you're talking to one person or multiple people. Like when you're saying, how are y'all doing? And you're talking to, like, I'm just talking to, like you, for instance, Rainiana. I say, how y'all doing? I'm just talking to you. Or I'm saying, how are y'all doing? And I'm talking to the entire podcast.
Yeah. It's basically linguistic hell.
Welcome to English.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't in this part. I wish I was not in this English party of hell.
It's okay.
But,
No, you
Hell
could be
gets
a
you
French
freedom.
part of hell.
We call that Quebec.
No, that's
Exactly.
Pinochistan.
I'm pretty sure you called it Scotland, but
For Scotland!
Mandoa just never look
Shots
right
fired.
when you break it down because it will either look broken or, no offense, you get découte or découte, which means basically no underwear, and that is what we call in the UK Nicholas. So that is
Going
literally
commando.
it's not so it could be you've had a night out with someone that's not your wife and you're running around without your pants commando, but it also means you are an idiot. You're literally without your pants or your socks, but equivalent. So some things do transfer. So Sheb is like Sheb. I won't speak about, but if you Google the Geordie dialect of Chib, you'll understand where that comes from because you see this is adult plus, and it's not adult plus at all because it will get worse.
Yeah, because the thing that you're referring to, like of using like knickers and whatnot, that's more cultural and to a degree almost getting into like the levels of slang. Where we have this word for this thing that doesn't really have a translation in other language. It's something it's exclusively Mandoa or potentially. And eventually that is probably going to be the case where we have some words that are they're Mandoa. There is no translation into English, more so like with proverbs and whatnot.
It's maybe a little bit like if I don't know any medical phrases, I don't watch a lot, television. But if I was to ask you, to say a phrase that is, iconic to America, and then to try and explain it, it might not come out the same. Like you might say, "Oh, it's like this," but then when you try and explain it, it's like, "Oh, well, it actually means this." It says totally different, but it still means that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But basically, when it comes to Karen Travis, make her sin bin, and she had her own madness, as in her own bias. So,
Is Karen still alive?
she's still alive. I mean, I've spoke to her a few times, but to say Pakalat, you would not want to really speak to Karen. She does not react well to Mandoa at all. If you're recording
the mouse.
well, no offense, if you're recording, I won't say why or the full story of what happened in 2000 and whatever. But generally just as Karen, she backed off from Mandoa and abandoned it. And yeah, she released the information online and Disney abandoned it. So, or not Disney, but Lucas Arts at the time, so.
I remember you telling me about that. I think.
Well, the fun fact is that Disney and LucasArts don't know how to use Mandoa. They've literally lost it. They don't obviously have access to the grammar and not much to the vocabulary. For a fun fact, and this is only because the Uibat hate me for Concordian, I will out myself for this. I translated a line of the Concordian, which is from the Clone Wars, which is the Kolhava Brukun Thrall Shiran. I worked with one of their experts and got into the dictionary, and they won't remove it. But basically, that's actually a retcon of Disney of a very old fan-made Mandoa dialect from, I think, 2006. So it's just before Karen Travis released her Mandoa. So it died very quick. But when Disney fell out, or let's say when George Lucas fell out with Karen over her being too pro-Mando, Disney chose this, Star Wars, literally Star Wars Galaxy, the game, RPG language, I think it is, They chose that and retconned it into Mandalore basically to say it was Concordian. So Disney kind of pulled a retcon on that. Somewhere between, not even legitimate, Karen Travis retconned all previous Mandalore in theory into Concordonish. She called it that. And then you've got Concordian, which is Disney basically taking this fan dialect and making it called Concordian to use that in the program. It doesn't also help that Disney did 3 movies with a fake font script by Ericsson, not realising that they were using a fan-made font, which is graphics. So Disney doesn't really know what they've got, to be fair. That's probably why they remade the script, but they still don't understand the words.
So let's get back into the language. So I've probably got at least 20 or 25 words now that have to do with armor. And albeit some of them are going to get butchered into words that have to do with armor, like plate and carry are going to get butchered into plate carrier at some point.
I gotta be honest, it might be an assumption to say that when you say Gade, it doesn't matter the form of the chest armor. It's just referring to chest armor in general.
Well, guide is plate.
So loud.
So I don't know if that is gonna mean it actually means like food or something else.
Mhm.
Ah, shit.
Like a dinner
Florida.
plate. 'Cause
Yeah,
the thing
it's either a
is-
dinner plate
the thing
or
is-
armor plate.
Because the thing is lore-wise, extended universe or non-canon lore of long past Mandalorians is they would use their chest plates as their eating surface.
Okay, yeah. So the
Mhm.
literal definition is guide or plate for armor or food use. Armor was often used to heat food over open fires in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to be
That's
a little
why
bit more
it's-
specific by adding the carrier or carry, which is Ulinir, Uliinir. Yeah.
I mean, for chest plate, this is just me trying to make something fast, but it's not correct. I might say,
Guide
like, well, more like, I'll guide, and that's only because of, how the left and right went, because it's talking about, plates on your chest, so the hull is your chest, and the guide is the plate. But that's me basically saying, chest plate. It's not a carrier plate. It's not a full protective plate. I'm literally just saying your chest. So it's more like I'm specifying one bit, not the full thing.
Right.
So maybe
And if we want
So
to
you-
do chest, that's halas. So we could do halas guide.
hal or halas. There is bard, but that means body, not so much chest. But
That was one of the best.
we could put gam. Gam for many means skin, like Beskar gam, iron skin.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have, in theory, although mine will sound terrible, like guide gam, which doesn't sound right, but it literally means something like plate skin. But in theory, if you put another word in the middle of that, you could try and build it up to you mean like plate iron skin or plate armor skin.
Well, I was also trying to keep it as simple as possible. That's why I was literally going for chest plate carrier. Not carrier of plates or iron chest plate. Because the chest plate can be made of anything. It can be leather. So let me go over what I've came up with so far, and then we can...
So one thing that I think is kind of an interesting point we always kind of glance over with armor. So maybe we should find somebody who's really knowledgeable in this and interview them or something. But that is proper application of the different types of armor. That's a huge one. Like melee armor doesn't necessarily like have the same laws as ballistic armor, and so on and so forth.
So let me do our words that I've came up with so far. We've got body, which is bar, spelled B-A-A-R. We've got plate, guide, G-A-I-D. Carry, Ulinir, U-L-I-I-N-I-R. Armored, Beskarish, B-E-S-K-A-R-Y-C. Armor or iron skin, Beskargam. B-E-S-K-A-R, Betten, or apostrophe for those who don't know what Betten is, G-A-M. We've got sigil, like our Mandalorian sigil for the way, which is Alik, not to be confused with Alit family. Alik, A-L-I-I-K. We've got helmet, which has two different pronunciations, like we've said before, which is Boucher or Boucher. Just depends on your regional dialect on which one you want to use for that. We've got head, which is Covid, not to be confused with COVID-19, please. I can already tell the nightmares we're going to get on that one. It's like, where's your helmet? Where's your COVID? I don't have COVID. We've got, basically I just went for body parts and the armor that would cover it on these, by the way. We've got arm, which is Irud. I-R-U-D. Oh, by the way, the COVID is spelled K-O-V-I-D. Glove, Oruk. O-R-O-K, Oruk. We've got hand, Gan, G-A-H-N. Chest, Halas, H-A-A-L-A-S. Belt spat or skirt, Kama, K-A-M-A. We've got leg, which is Irtab, I-R-T-A-A-B. Foot is Tab. Notice we lost the I-R from Irtab for the foot, which is just T-A-A-B. We've got toe, Dobser, D-A-A-B Betten, C-E-R. Boots, which is Setare, C-E-T-A-R-E. A pint of ale, because we use our helmets for a pint of ale, which is Buchegal or Bouchegal, B-U-Y, Betten, C-E, space, G-A-L. We've got right, Stabe, S-T-A-A-B-I. So what did we say? I think we Stabby or Stabby is also acceptable for that. We've got left, which is Pite, P-A-Y-T. If you want to say side, is ASO. So if you want to say right side, Stabby ASO, or left side, Pite ASO. We were talking about weapons, so I decided to toss this one in. Bezbetresh for a singular weapon or gun, or Bezbetreshe for the plural. Basically, you'll add the E onto the Bezbetresh to make it plural on that one. So that's our language for this session. I'm going to toss in the ones that Miss Rainiana put into the podcast channel, so give me just a second to get up there. We've got Treasure, which is blaster gun, silent gun. Bezbetresh or Bezbetreshe. She also messaged me some directly. Let's see. Haldkabur is breastplate, which, if I remember right, is supposed to be the knife side, which is the right side. Or we've got... Oh, nope, I'm sorry. There's a different word for that one. Haldkabur is literally just breastplate. If you want to say left breastplate, is called Haldkabur, or Beskad Haldkabur for the right side. So basically, you got your left side, which is your knife side, or your right side, which is your saber sword side. What else? Do you guys think I missed any? Do you think we need to add any words?
I mean,
It's not-
yes. I mean, once
Speak
again,
your
the
minds.
language is still growing. It is still being created. If that makes sense.
Right.
Question about. So
Go
here's
ahead,
one
Rich.
for you.
Excuse me.
What's the word for eyes? Like as to put eyes on something or your eyes.
Hold on. Radiana, do you know that one off the top of your head while I search for
Or
it?
even to look.
Well, height is vision.
Surhai, SUR.
Let's see, we've got Watchtower.
HAAI is I as in singular.
So, Dirge, if you want to say Watchtower or Eye Tower, it's Hayam. Hayam. It's spelled HAA Betten YAM, but it's pronounced HAHYAHM with the emphasis on the Yam side of it. Okay, there's only 10. I was thinking 34 out of 81. I was like, oh wait, that's the page I'm on. We've got Sensor, which is eye listening, is the Sushai, which is SHUSHAI. We've got Sight, or picture before the eyes, something the eyes see at the given moment, which is Sur, SUR. We've got Keep an Eye on, or Monitor, which is Sor Ulor, which I think is what you were going for, Dirge. It's like keeping an eye on something. We've got Concentrate or Focus, which is Surar. Surar. We've got Night Vision, or literally Eye of Darkness, which is Surdar. Surda. Sorry. We got Glasses, Spectacles, Eye Lenses, which is Surgot. The Singular Eye, which is Surhai, or sometimes shortened to just High. SUR Betten HAAI, or lose the SUR and keep the other part. Sight or View, which is Surhat. That was all 10 of them that I could find that had to do with eye, at least. Does that satisfy you, Dirge?
Yep.
What else? We've pretty much killed the section of armor, I think.
If possible, I'd like to introduce a curse word.
What?
Always.
Dirge and I came up with this one.
Oh no.
Shabik.
Oh, that's a Shabbat.
Shabik.
Shabik.
SHAB Betten IC.
And what does this, pray tell, mean?
Shabika, shabika. Shabik, shabika.
Fuck this, fuck that.
Shabika, shabika, orish shabika. I'm Scottish. We're meant to swear.
Yes, you were.
Aye.
She just made that sound so good.
Can you spell that again? Real quick?
Put that in the Mandor Mondoa channel, please.
SHA. Oh, go ahead.
SHEB.
Actually, you kind of work. Tell me, kind of work that one.
The Talon has done a merge of Shab
You mean
and
Bloodhole?
Beak. So Shab Beak. But to me it's Shabby. It's a bit of a wordplay of Shabika. So but Shab Beak. SHEB BIC. I mean no offense, I'm going to use it.
Oh, I want somebody to use it all the time because I sure as hell will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Shabik Cub, which is, I'm assuming, just adding an A to the Shabik.
Ika is the diminutive form, but it could also be the plural. So you don't. So in the theory of that, it could be any. So it could be like shit. What? Well, I maybe can't say that on your web podcast, but you can get the gist. It's actually quite a. It's
And
a
what
very
was the
funny
last
website.
one? Shabik,
I'm about to
Shabico.
drop a swear word because I don't rightly remember the word that was used for it. So get prepared to censor this.
Don't have to. The podcast is mature rated on the upload,
Okay.
so
Never mind then. So yeah, if I remember, it's kind of like fuck it, right?
right. So what I've got is Shabik, Shabica, which I remember. If I remember right, it's fuck this, fuck that, and I can't. I think you said fuck everything, but I can't remember what you said for that.
I mean, pretty much it means fuck that thing in particular. Or little
Like
fuck.
when you send ordnance over, fuck that thing in particular.
Or if you're the USS. Oh, why can I not remember that fucking ship's name?
Texas.
Wasn't the video I sent you?
Yes, no, it's not the Texas.
Wasn't it like the Wisconsin?
Yeah, the Wisconsin. Fuck that hill over there.
Fuck that hill specifically. Korea.
Yeah, so
yeah.
back in 1952, the USS Wisconsin took fire from a hill off the coast of Korea. The captain looks to the XO, tells the XO, "You see that hill over there?" "Yes, sir." "I don't want to see it anymore." "Yes, sir." "All guns, fire on this hill." There is no more hill. The USS Texas, which is the sister ship that was on convoy or on assignment
No,
with
it wasn't the USS Texas.
It wasn't the
one of
Texas?
its-
What was it,
One
then?
it's one of its cruisers.
Okay, so the cruiser that was assigned with the Wisconsin just pulls up next to it, sends over 2 words: temper, temper.
Mm-hmm.
Because
There's a
the
video
XO
that
said,
I need to. There's a video I need to now send y'all.
yeah, just put it in the chat channel.
Rainiana, it is a gift from Texas and Canada. Please use it. I just love the idea
It's from
that
habitual line crosser.
See, I thought it
Good
was
stuff.
the fat electrician. That's who I heard it from first.
No,
But the
one that I
habitual
sent you
line
was
crosser
habitual
actually
line
put
crosser.
the lips and eyes overlay on the ships.
Yeah.
it was a collaboration between the two of them. I remember what you're talking about.
I think habitual line crosser did the eyes and lips, but
Yeah,
the
the
other one
original
was the one
story
that did
was
the,
fat electrician.
I think he did the voice because the voice does not sound like habitual line crosser.
Oh, I'll have to go and watch that thing because I figured it was going to be habitual. So,
That
Rainiana, if you
electrician
don't
did the
mind,
voice.
Yeah, he did the voice of
Yes,
the
he did.
USS.
Rainiana, if you don't mind using the hidden features like what you put your blush heart in, put the English translation edited into that, please.
Explosive cars at people. I ran down explosive cars at people.
I'm actually trying to, but I'm trying to get it under the video on the screen.
Where should I post the link to it?
Oh,
To
shit.
what, the habitual line crossers video?
Mm-hmm.
I just put it in Cantina.
Cantina.
Yeah. We don't have a meme channel, so Cantina
Yeah.
fits.
We need to. We need to get one.
We need at least 3 of them because just how much will be pouring into them.
Yeah.
Pop goes the what?
Weasel.
Wait, why the fuck would it not let... Okay, it's because I put the E on it, that's why.
But tell me, Shabik doesn't just roll off the tongue. Imagine you're
It
angry.
does.
I was actually going to ask, does anyone here use Gboards or like a custom dictionary?
Use what?
Do you have like a custom dictionary that you could install to your phone? or
Okay, that's weird. Where's the?
My
Okay, there we go.
phone will do that. It will Dorsey pops up on my suggested if I start typing it in, stuff like that. My keyboard will learn when I use the words.
without being rude, I'm starting on Talgier's dictionary, so I can make a dictionary of his words. I just kind of need to know some of his objective forms you might like.
All of them.
Do you want? It's a wee bit confusing, but so do you want Aden and Adenla separate from Aden, which has two N's at the end of it? And what do you want them as? Once I know how you want them to look, I could tell you how to install it into your phone or your Google. You won't get the font, but you'll get the dictionary. But I kind of just know how to. I need to know kind of what you want, so.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough of the language to tell you an answer one way or another, honestly.
And most of my vocabulary is cursing, so I'm probably not the best person to ask.
I'm like a toddler.
Yeah, that's how
in the
mine
vocab.
is too.
If I said I would give you 1,000 swear words, would you take it? Would you then
Fuck
want
yes.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, all of them.
I emphasize the fuck yes.
I'm
Shabalik.
sure, I'm sure we can make that a community lesson how to
How to curse in Mandalore.
Properly swear
Yeah,
in
that would definitely
Mandalore.
be an after hours show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're definitely now into the after hours.
Speaking of after hours, I'm gonna be heading to bed here, guys. It was nice hearing you.
Pussy.
Nice seeing you.
See you later,
Jackie.
Artie.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same here in a minute.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, I did apply to the other job where I don't think I told anybody about this yet. Basically, I'm going to be trying to get into a plant that produces the parts for my old weapon system, so I'm pretty fucking psyched about that.
Nice.
No
That's
serial
pretty
numbers
cool.
on his stuff is what I'm hearing.
You what?
I'm also gonna take my leave for Mando After Dark.
All
That
right.
is
See you later,
yeah.
Dave.
I might be back too, but I gotta take care of a couple things quickly.
All right.
Good night, y'all.
All right.
Love y'all.
See ya.
See y'all.
Good night.
Yate Sagon.
Remember, as my people say,
Sabbath.
exactly.
Rocking the free galaxy.
All right, adios.
All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and close out the official time of the podcast. So, that was fast, Dirge.
Yeah, hold on. Almost, keep on rocking the free galaxy. All right.
So this is the end?
Yeah.
As we know it.
Are we going
This
to
is the end of the world as we know it.
See, I was thinking,
And I feel fine.
Thank you.
in the end.
So for those of you who stuck around and listened all the way to the end, we thank you very much for entertaining us tonight and letting us entertain you. Feel free to hit up the link tree. We have a QR code on the background wallpaper. If you're watching on video, you can just hit that with your phone camera. Or we're going to be putting the link tree in the description of the podcast. And also I'll be editing the description of the podcast channel so that we may not have to add it in there all the time to the sessions, sorry. But that link tree will take you to all of our social medias. It'll bring you here to the Discord where we will record the sessions. It'll take you to our Patreon. It'll take you to the Armorers Guild Facebook page. So you can talk to individual armorers or the guild as a whole. Let's see, what else? Any?
It's got TikTok.
Yeah, it takes you to our TikTok, our Instagram. It'll also take you to the
Think it does
MeWe
to
or
the
MeWe,
YouTube?
however you pronounce that, which I don't think we've actually started using yet.
Nah, not many of us are on there quite yet. It's still
Right.
in the works. You
Uh,
can still join,
right.
but it is still in the works.
Let's see what else. We do
Any
still have
YouTube
a
is on there as
GoFundMe
well.
going. All donations go straight into any legal funds or legal fees that we're currently still paying, or any
Yep.
upcoming fees or legal stuff that we've got coming. That's exactly where that goes right now.
Mhm.
Most of the legal fees are thanks to Aru.
Right. Any illegal
Yeah.
fees go to the one who is no longer in the chat channel. Which we don't do any illegal fees. Just to put that
Nope.
disclaimer out there.
We do not charge for any of these podcasts.
Nope. I have thought about doing donations, but I don't know where we would. I don't have the link. I guess
What
we could
information
have
are
it
you
go
needing?
into the GoFundMe or Patreon. I guess we'll talk to the
You need
Lore
any
about
information
that.
for
But
that, or
well,
a
I'm
donation?
assuming they would just click on the GoFundMe or Patreon and donate there.
Yeah.
But no, as of right
That's-
now, us podcasters are not paid to do this. We do this because we want to.
Yeah.
We do this for the love of the faith.
Right, and that's why I won't make this a subscription-based podcast, because we want to get it out there as much as possible.
That explains why you ghost me every time I ask about my royalty check.
Wait, you guys get paid?
Damn it, there's too many people.
Well,
I
not
need to
yet.
mute now. Y'all need to stop this.
I get paid in Taco
I can
Bell.
mute Talon. I can't mute everyone.
Well, you can certainly try.
Yeah, I can just,
I get
I can
paid.
just
I was being a
disconnect
good
everyone,
boy.
just abuse my power.
I get paid in friendship.
It also takes you to the, before I forget, it also takes you to the main Facebook page for the Keepers of the Way.
Oh, yes.
Other than that, I really don't have much else, besides the After Hours part anyways, where I'm going to start playing video games. This has been Kadale Kabor, your host.
This is on the Mori.
And
And this is Talon Veccareer wishing you all a great night.